Hey, it's Megs.
And Jax.
And we wanted to pop in real quick for a spoiler warning.
Some of the books that we'll be discussing in this episode may contain some things you don't want to know before reading the book.
So make sure to check out what we're musing about in the episode description, read the book, and then come back and muse with us later.
We can't wait to hear from you then.
Hi, I'm Megs.
And I'm Jax,
And this is Musing Over Mugs.
where we chat about all things books, drinks, and adventures.
So grab your mug and join us and tell us, what's in your mug today?
What's in your mug? What do you got?
I got mint tea today.
Ooh, I'm still holding out strong on the candy cane green tea.
I support this. And funny enough, in our mug for the episode, we are going to be musing over tropes. We are big readers, obviously. We are big romance readers, and what makes a romance amazing is the tropes that they use.
It's fun. It's a good mix, books that I feel like I was trying to come up earlier about, certain tropes and examples of all of them. And then there were some where I was like, I can't really even place a trope. And I wanted to get your thoughts on that, actually. Like, is that a requirement? Do all romances have to have a trope in them? Or is it just, I guess technically a happily ever after is the definition of a romance, and that is a trope. So I just answered my own question.
Sure. But let's take a step back. And what is a trope? Because I don't think everybody knows what a trope is. And so you actually sent me this link from masterclass.com. What is a trope? A trope in literary terms is a plot device or character attribute that's used so commonly in a genre. It's really commonplace or conventional. They give a whole bunch of examples, but it says the romance genre in particular is full of tropes. And you can definitely start seeing a pattern as you read more and more romances. If you are anything like me and dive deep into the holiday movies around Christmas time, they can't exist without a trope. And so some of the most common tropes, and do you want to take these one at a time and discuss them, or do you want to just list them out?
Let's go one at a time.
Okay.
And then we'll talk about our favorites later.
Sure. So the love triangle.
A good old love triangle. So love triangle is obviously three people who are it's usually two in love, one?
Yeah. So the example from masterclass.com, not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor us, let us know, is, so she is in love with the bad boy and also the geek. So the geek and the bad boy are competing with each other because they're both in love with her. So who's going to win out? I hate this trope. Just make up your mind.
Pick one and move on.
The example is Hunger Games. So I think we've all watched the Hunger Game movies or read the books.
I've done both.
Done them both. So it's Katniss and Peeta and
Gale.
It was Liam Hemsworth. I don't know what character's name.
I was so excited. I was I think I know this one. Because as we've mentioned before, that one's been read a long time ago, and I was that's once it's closed, all knowledge goes out the door. We forget it all.
So here's one: so we know your what do they call them? Potterheads.
I think so.
Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Is that a love triangle?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Because there's never been. I mean, I'm sure some Potter fan could come at me and say, "Prove me wrong." Which, great, give me the conversation. But as far as I can recall, there is no instance where Harry and Hermione are in love in any way, shape, or form. In my book.
Fair enough. Do you have any love triangles without getting any spoilery that comes to mind?
Here you go. Put me on the spot again. I can't remember things.
We did talk about it.
I didn't get a list of questions beforehand. Obviously Hunger Games, because you already said that. Mm-hmm. The only one I can think of I was debating when I was coming up with some examples earlier. I was is it a love triangle? But in the end, I think I decided it was a reverse harem. Wicked Beauty.
Okay. It's like, you got to say the name of the book.
I was like, are you gonna guess it? I don't want to give things away. I mean,
Yeah, no, I agree. Definitely, I think starts as possibly a love triangle, but then very quickly we get into it. The reverse harem thing. Reverse harem,
I was
also
like,
a trope.
there we go.
A very wonderful, easy segue right into that. I have not read a lot of reverse harems.
I think this is my only one.
Yeah. But I know they're out there because they're all over the Bookstagram and the Book
Book
Talk.
Talk. People love them.
People do love it. And I'm here for them. I feel like it's very empowering.
For those of you who don't know, so a harem is when stereotypically have it's a male with a gaggle of women who are in love with him, and a reverse harem is a woman has a gaggle of men in love with her.
And we support that. We love that. We love a woman in charge. Yeah, so I think I haven't read any except for Wicked Beauty.
Me too. But I'm open to more. So if you guys have suggestions, please DM us and let us know.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll get them on the
Musing
TBR.
over mugs on Instagram. We will plug that 1,000 more times. So thank you. All right. So next trope, the secret billionaire. I think that's like a rich guy or woman, ran away from the royal family, the wealthy family, the whatever, to like live as a commoner. I feel like I have read this, but I cannot remember any books.
As you were saying it, I was like, what would be secret billionaire? I don't know that I have, at least not recently. I haven't read any.
So not technically a secret billionaire, but in Crescent City, the head of the witch, the daughters, whose name I cannot remember. I'm the worst with character names. I'm so sorry. But
I can literally see it.
I have the book like right behind me.
I'm looking it up.
But the character who was going to take over because her mom died, but then she like went and she was the nurse for like a year, like living. So I feel like that's not technically secret billionaire, but it's like as close to that as I've
Hypaxia.
read. Hypaxia, yes.
I knew it was an H.
I knew there was a Y in there. But
together we had the first two letters, so we're on a roll.
That's all we need. That's all we need. So yeah, I think that's the like closest I've read in a while to like the secret billionaire, the secret like person in power pretending to be not. The other is obviously Aladdin, when Jasmine becomes a street mouse, if you will.
Yes, of course.
All right, the next trope is one that we love. Friends to lovers.
We love a friends to lovers.
We love a friends to lovers. So this might get a little spoily. So you might want to skip ahead to the next trope. But friends to lovers, like, what's up, people we meet on vacation?
Mm-hmm. It's
like, I mean, come on.
It's so good. There's something I guess we can just talk about it now. I was planning on bringing it up later, but like I've been trying, and I've decided the jury is still out. I am not picking sides on whether or not the superior trope is friends to lovers or enemies to lovers, because they both have very different things and different feels, but they're both so good. And you can't, I love the pining. I love the banter. It's just, they're different vibes, but they're so good.
So slightly controversial is enemies to lovers is so much better than friends to lovers.
I see. I'm not sold.
I am.
I loved People You Meet on Vacation.
I did too, but like there's something about like raw animalistic passion, and that like that hatred that just builds and builds and builds, and then all you can do is just like fuck it out.
Yeah, but
I'm sorry. Are we cursing?
We are going to curse. We discussed this after the last episode. We will curse. That's who we are as humans. I said fart last time instead of fuck, and that felt wrong. So, but I think that animalistic piece that comes in it's a little bit different, but it's still there in Friends to Lovers. There's like that build up and that final moment, and they're like, fuck it, and they grab them and they make out, like, oh! It's like, it's like a switch. It happens in both, but it's still there. But I love them both. So I'm not picking sides yet. I need to read some more Friends to Lovers because I've read a lot of Enemies to Lovers lately.
So another spoily one, also an Emily Henry, is you just finished Beach Read, right?
Yep.
So Beach Read went to enemies to friends to lovers.
Yep.
And I was here for it.
I loved it. It was fantastic.
Nice evolution.
Also, I wanted your opinion on Hook, Line, Sinker, which I know you didn't love as much as I did, but I would consider that a friends to lovers.
Oh,
with
yeah,
a,
100%.
with a side of, I wouldn't have classified this as a trope myself, but on the great Google told me that one of the tropes could be Playboy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, in that case, this is a friends to lover with a splash of Playboy.
I agree, but I also think it's just like secret pining, because in that book, Fox like clearly loved her from the moment they walked to the bookstore in It Happened One Summer.
Record store.
Yeah, that's what I said. Is that not what I said?
You said bookstore. But we would have loved it to be a bookstore.
We would have loved it to be a bookstore, but alas. So yeah, I think that's like secret pining, that trope there.
Okay. A lot of tropes in one book. I liked it.
All right, so the next trope I have is, and this one I've seen written a couple of different ways. So the list I'm reading off of says stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've seen on Bookstagram is
Forced proximity.
forced proximity, or like one twin bed.
Oh God, we
stuck in a snowstorm.
We love a one bed.
Are you going to sleep on the floor? Are you going to sleep on the couch? No, just cuddle with me. It's fine.
No, that is unacceptable. If there is one bed, they are sleeping together.
Just like wrap your wings around me. It's fine. Oh, whoops. Spoiler, no. How do we feel about this one? I think it's getting a little overplayed for me.
I enjoy it. I do. I was going through my list and of the books I've read lately, was trying to again assign some tropes, and I had Under One Roof, which was one of Ali Hazelwood's Steminist novellas, which I felt had some forced proximity in it. You haven't read that one yet, but
no. But when I saw this, I immediately said Love Hypothesis.
Oh, of course.
Which is another Ali Hazelwood.
But I think more than like there's some in there, but I think it's more fake dating. Love Hypothesis.
Well, I think we've already established that it doesn't have to be just one trope.
Oh,
we can
of course.
have multiple tropes in. So I think that was fake dating that like forced them into this forced proximity of sharing the hotel room.
Yep. And then I was thinking Neon Gods and Electric Idol.
Oh.
In like a weird kind of way. Like it's not your stereotypical one like where you're like snowed in together or like stuck in an elevator, but because of the situations they've gotten themselves into, Persephone running off, now I know she could leave at any time, but like because they're so close now, they're forced in that kind of close quarters, they fall in love.
Right.
Same with Psyche and Eros in Electric Idols. They're also a fake dating, not really fake dating because they do get married, but spoilers. We're gonna put a lot of disclaimers in the opening for this one.
Don't listen to this one and Scott. All spoilers.
This is rough. They, a marriage of convenience in order to save a life, but because they're stuck in that marriage, they're forced together and then actually fall in love.
So I mean this list I have is fake relationships. So it's fake dating, but like I think the marriage for that one is that's the fake relationship because they had to get married for a certain reason, even though they're both just like meh.
Yep.
But were they? We won't tell you. You're gonna have to read the book
after we already gave it away.
It's fine.
Not all of it, but a lot of it. We're gonna get even better about this.
Oh God, guys, we're so sorry. We're starting out. You gotta just bear with us.
Hard.
We promise we'll be better. All right, so the next one is like my favorite one is Forbidden Love.
We love Romeo and Juliet story.
We love a Romeo and Juliet story. We love. I would say Hook, Line, and Sinker is a Forbidden Love because everyone told Fox to stay away from Hannah.
Yep.
I just read a book. Swear to God, God Touched by
Okay.
Alessa Thorne is a forbidden love. I can't tell you much about it except for
Please don't. I haven't read it yet.
It's good. It's real good.
It's on the
It's
list.
real good. It's the best one of the whole series, but it's fine. But yeah, that's definitely like a forbidden love, and I think there's a lot more out there.
Of course. They're never
I
ending.
mean, the Evelyn Hugo, the whole.
Don't even get me started.
I mean, that whole book's about forbidden love.
Yep. I was thinking about it earlier, and I was like, there were so many things happening. I was like, I'm not even gonna touch it. I don't want to bring her up, but I don't want to.
I brought her up for you. It's
You
fine.
did.
It's fine. I think Verity is also forbidden love.
I don't know if I would classify Verity as a romance. I mean, I know there's some romancy things, but there's
So
so
these
much.
Tropes aren't necessarily like
everything.
just for romance. I mean,
You're right.
they are like aggressively prevalent in romances. Words are hard, guys. I don't know why we started a podcast. Best of luck to our listeners. But yeah, the tropes are like so prevalent in romances, but they're definitely applicable to other categories, and I think Verity is certainly a forbidden love.
Yeah, I could see it.
Okay.
That makes sense.
All right, the next one is Second Chances. I have not read many Second Chances. I can't even think of one off the top of my head.
You know, and when I was researching, I read one, and I didn't fall into a category of books I had read recently, and then I didn't write it down. It was The Notebook was Second Chances, that they had broken up and then came back around. I was also a forbidden love. Welcome to Boston.
I'm sorry, could you hear that? I live on a one-way street. There's parking on both sides, so if somebody stops in the middle, there's no one getting by them.
It's part of our world. It's fine. But yeah, they obviously, everyone's seen The Notebook at this point, break up, and then they get a second chance at life and romance. And
Another one that I was just thinking of is, so I didn't like the book. It made me really sad, but like as a book, it was very good. Is The Summer Place. They have like a small little like off trope.
la la la.
It's fine.
It's
I'm
sitting
not
on the
giving
TBR.
anything away. I'm not giving anything away, but there's like a little like one-off like side like second chances
Perfect.
trope that she teases. She flirts with, if you will.
Excellent. What's next?
Okay, so this one, it really should just be called SJM because it's called Soulmates. And what is SJM love?
Fated
Mates.
lovers. Mates,
Like-
mates.
Mates are really rare, and no one ever finds their mate. And when they find them, they're celebrated. But
Everybody has one.
Everyone has a mate except for Az.
Poor Az. It's coming. I'm waiting on that next book. And it
It
better
better
not
come.
be Elaine. That's all I'm saying. We are not Team Elaine in this group.
Like, but what about the cereal? Can we bring him back and give him a mate?
Right? He deserves
I'm just
love.
saying. Yeah, so I am happy to start a petition saying that the soulmate trope should be renamed the SJM trope, because everyone gets a mate, even though they're so
You
very
get a
rare.
mate, and you get a mate, and you get a mate.
We should make a reel.
We should. That's a smart idea.
Just saying. This is how our reels come about.
I'm gonna write that one down because we can we can do that.
We can, absolutely. Okay, and the last trope that they have here, even though we're going to talk about a lot more, is fake relationships. And I think we've already discussed like a ton of those.
Fake dating.
Fake dating, fake relationships, all of that. We see it a lot. It's fine. Is it getting old? Is it getting played out? How many fake
No,
relationships?
never. I love them.
But you know exactly what's going to happen.
Well, I mean, you know what's gonna happen in all of these.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
That is
the
very true.
it's the story around it. But that's why we read romance. It's comforting. You know what's gonna happen. You know an actual romance is happily ever after. So that's where we're at. We love it.
All right, great. So not we're moving off of the masterclass tropes. The one I enjoy is Grumpy Sunshine.
Oh, we do love a grumpy sunshine.
If I had to classify my marriage in a trope, my relationship with my husband, it would be Grumpy Sunshine or Grumpy Grumpy.
We're all just grumps here.
You know, it's fun. Definitely Grumpy Sunshine.
I like it. I can see that.
Who's grumpy and who's the sunshine?
That I was just like, I mean, Brian's gotta be the grump. You're the sunshine, but you gotta touch a grump sometimes. I mean, don't we all though?
As my mom says, I'm a ray of fucking sunshine, so you know, it all works out. Best friend's brother or sister, another trope.
Yep. I don't think I've read any of them, at least lately. When I was paying attention to what tropes were.
Or no, that's the brother's best friend.
I was like,
whatever. It's on the same.
Again,
theme.
I was about to agree, but I'm like, I cannot remember. This happens every time. There's a whole realm of like, I don't know if it's necessarily a trope, but like different genres of romance. There's like, you know, brother's best friend, priests. Why are those the only two examples that are coming to my mind?
I don't know. You got a confession you want to make?
No, I'm thinking of
I enjoy the morally gray male main character that's just covered in tattoos, who's a little mysterious.
That's not a trope. Now we're getting crazy.
Isn't it though? Because I feel like it keeps happening.
But I don't know if it's trope. I feel like a trope is like a theme that plays out. That's just like a standard character that women fall all over themselves for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's true. One that I cannot stand and I actively try to avoid is accidental pregnancies, surprise babies. No.
Oh.
Nope. You ruin a thing if you just. No. That's a hard pass. Workplace romance.
Gross. Workplace romance, workplace rivals, but I feel like workplace rivals is enemies too.
Yep. Enemies to lovers.
I
feel like we've gotten the big ones. Those are the most popular. I think the most popular, the friends to lovers, enemies to lovers.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm if you've got a book that proves me wrong, let me know. Like which one? Like if your team enemies or your team friends, send me your best recommendation because I would like to make a decision, but I like them both.
And I think a lot of these tropes kind of like overlap each other. So, you know, like if you're talking about the workplace romance, were they friends first? Are they just like hooking up to hook up? Is that then like forced proximity? So if we really start diving deep into like what the trope is and in that like specific story, I think we can like definitely layer multiple tropes on them.
Yeah. It's like a little trope sandwich.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I love like a holiday trope. It just
oh my god, seasonal reads are my favorite. Like
it just warms my very cold dead heart.
As absolutely. As you know, my bookshelf's got a little like out of hand real quick. And then I got a bar cart, which is now my seasonal TBR cart, and it has currently all of my summer themed books. I will read them all summer. Like I'm not in like fall. I'll come back to Thriller-land, Fantasyland, all that will come back. But like right now, I'm like big onto beaches, any sort of fluffy romance. Give it to me. And then once like I try to hold off till November-ish, but like those Christmas reads, oh, I am a sucker for a Hallmark movie. My family, our Christmas tradition is we wear our pajamas all day on Christmas and we just watch all of the Hallmark movies back to back. Like they have that marathon and we just watch them all day. And it is glorious.
Okay, well, I think we have successfully
talked
about tropes.
We spoiled a bunch of books. Sorry.
Not sorry.
I mean, some of them weren't spoilery.
Still read them. They're good. They're fun.
They are good.
You know, the ones that we talked about, they're great books. I think we'll both read them, each of the books we talked about again, because that's how much we enjoyed them and they're silly tropes. So definitely check it out. Let us know. Make sure you're following us on Instagram at Musing Over Mugs and send us a DM with your favorite tropes. We want to know. And let
again,
us know
if you've got a favorite enemies to lover or a friends to lover. Also DM us that because I'm dead serious. I want examples. I want more.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode. We hope you liked it. Please rate if you did. Make sure you're subscribed. If you didn't like it, please don't rate it. Just send us a DM. Let us know what you didn't like so that we can take your constructive feedback and do better next time. Thanks so much. Yeah, we're still new. We're still learning. We're still figuring it out. But we appreciate
for being here with us.
And yeah, we'll talk to you all real soon. Oh, wait. Do you want to tell them about what launched today? Even though it launched today and this podcast is going to go up like way later.
I was going to say, that's not going to make any sense timeline-wise.
It's fine.
Well, I guess we launched our website unofficially. I mean, it's up. We haven't said anything about it to anybody except for this podcast, which won't go out into the ethers until much later. So, but we recorded this on the day that we launched our website secretly. So we got a couple more tweaks to make, and then we'll make a big announcement online. Oh my god!
I'm so sorry. There's a soundboard. I got real excited about it.
That's fantastic. I didn't know we could do that.
Yeah, I don't know what your screen looks like, but I have like a media tab, and I can just click on that, and there's a whole bunch of sounds.
I don't have that. That's fantastic.
It's real fun.
So yeah, we did a thing, and it's up there, and eventually, when these podcasts go live, they will live on the website as well, along with all of our character cocktail recipes. Our reviews will be there, and who knows what else will eventually land on that page as well. So, living, breathing site. It's always going to be changing, but very excited that it's live.
Yeah, so go check it out, musingovermugs.com. Leave us some love. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. And again, we apologize to those who found us on TikTok. We are trying.
We don't know what we're doing.
It's not going great, but we're trying. So please give us some grace. Maybe that's a trope where older millennials try to get on social media platforms that they do not understand.
We're not older. We're elder. That has like a level of wisdom to it.
Yeah, according to CNN, I am a geriatric millennial.
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's rude.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, and we will talk to you all next time.
Cheers!